Imagine a world where murderers walked free simply because there was no way to prove their guilt beyond a shadow of a doubt. Now picture this: a single bloody thumbprint left at a grisly crime scene, one tiny smudge that would forever transform the course of criminal investigations. Have you ever wondered how one accidental imprint could shatter centuries of crude justice and birth a scientific revolution in forensic science? Welcome to the dramatic and history-defining case of Francisca Rojas. The year was 1892. Argentina, a burgeoning nation still finding its legal footing, struggled with rudimentary crime-solving techniques. Investigators often relied on inconsistent eyewitness testimony, unreliable confessions, and crude circumstantial evidence to administer justice. Forensic science was a fledgling field, largely dismissed by skeptics as experimental guesswork. Against this backdrop, a brutal double homicide would ignite a revolution. Criminal investigations at that time were clumsy affairs, with little emphasis on physical evidence. Investigators lacked reliable methods to link a suspect to a crime scene scientifically. Guilt often hinged on word of mouth rather than irrefutable proof, leaving victims without justice and criminals roaming free. Today, we embark on a chilling journey through the Francisca Rojas case. We'll explore the turbulent historical backdrop, unravel the brutal crime that shocked a community, dissect the groundbreaking forensic techniques that emerged, and reflect on the monumental legacy that continues to shape forensic science today. By the end of this gripping tale, you'll see how a single, bloody thumbprint proved more powerful than 1,000 testimonies and became the catalyst for a forensic revolution. Stay with us as we uncover the details that forever altered the path of criminal investigations. At the twilight of the 19th century, Argentina was experiencing a period of political reform, cultural awakening, and rapid modernization. However, the justice system lagged behind. Corruption was rampant, and the public's faith in law enforcement was dangerously thin. Police officers were undertrained, investigations were poorly documented, and the legal framework for evidence collection was archaic. Internationally, scientific methods were only beginning to infiltrate law enforcement. Theories of biological individuality were emerging, but fingerprinting was still considered speculative by most authorities. It was in this environment that the seeds of forensic science were sown, through necessity, desperation, and a brutal crime that demanded irrefutable proof. In a small rural village in Necochea, Argentina, panic erupted when two young children were found savagely murdered inside their home. The mother, Francisca Rojas, initially claimed that an intruder committed the heinous crime. The brutal nature of the killings shocked the close-knit community, and suspicion quickly turned inward. Investigators scoured the crime scene, finding a door smeared with blood, and on it, a single, distinguishable thumbprint. It was an unprecedented piece of evidence. Meanwhile, Rojas's inconsistent accounts and suspicious behavior further deepened doubts about her story. Traditional investigative methods led to wrongful accusations, but one officer, Inspector Eduardo Alvarez, decided to rely on a radical new technique: fingerprint analysis. Armed with a rudimentary understanding of fingerprint individuality, Alvarez compared the bloody thumbprint to Rojas's own thumb, and the match was undeniable. The concept of fingerprint uniqueness had been theorized by scientists like Sir Francis Galton and Dr. Juan Vucetich, an Argentine police official who had begun cataloging fingerprints. Vucetich's work provided the theoretical backbone, but Alvarez's practical application of fingerprint comparison in a real criminal case was nothing short of revolutionary. The forensic techniques of the time were rudimentary. Fingerprints were recorded using ink and paper, and analysis relied heavily on visual comparisons. Alvarez meticulously documented the thumbprint, comparing ridge patterns and minutiae points to Rojas's thumb. When confronted with the evidence, scientific, undeniable, and publicly demonstrable, Francisca Rojas confessed to the murders. It was the first recorded case in history where a fingerprint match directly led to a criminal conviction. The immediate impact of the Rojas case was seismic. It proved, beyond theoretical debate, that fingerprints could serve as infallible personal identifiers in criminal investigations. Argentine police rapidly adopted fingerprinting as a standard investigative tool, leading the world in forensic innovation. Globally, law enforcement agencies took notice. England, France, and the United States soon followed suit, incorporating fingerprint analysis into their investigative arsenals. Courtrooms, once dominated by unreliable witnesses, began to place increasing trust in physical, scientific evidence. It marked the beginning of modern forensic science. Today, the legacy of the Francisca Rojas case echoes in every fingerprint database, every criminal conviction based on biometric evidence, and every forensic classroom where students learn about the foundational moments of their discipline. The simple act of matching a bloody thumbprint to a suspect birthed an entire field of forensic identification, leading to innovations like AFIS, automated fingerprint identification systems, and biometric security measures that permeate everyday life. Experts such as forensic historian Simon Cole reflect on the Rojas case as a moment when science decisively entered the courtroom, forever changing the standard for evidence and justice. The transformation was not limited to Argentina or even to law enforcement. It was a global awakening to the power of science to reveal truth where human testimony often failed. The case of Francisca Rojas stands as a monument to the transformative power of science and evidence. From a tragic, brutal crime emerged a technique that has exonerated the innocent, convicted the guilty, and forever changed the way societies seek justice. A single bloody thumbprint broke the chains of unreliable investigations and set humanity on a new, enlightened path. Today, fingerprint analysis is a cornerstone of modern forensic science, used in millions of cases worldwide. The story of Francisca Rojas reminds us that progress often arises from darkness, and that scientific discovery has the potential to reshape the very foundations of civilization. As forensic science continues to evolve with DNA analysis, digital forensics, and advanced biometrics, the humble beginnings in a rural Argentine village remain profoundly relevant. The pursuit of truth, anchored by scientific evidence, stands as a beacon for justice in every corner of the world. Curious to uncover more stories where science triumphed over chaos? Subscribe to our channel and stay tuned as we bring you more groundbreaking tales that redefined history. Remember, innovation, courage, and the relentless pursuit of truth are the forces that shape a just world. Stay curious, stay informed. Additional resources and background information: Forensic Science International, forensic/journals.elsevier.com/forensic@science international. History of fingerprinting, history.com/topics/inventions/fingerprinting. Biography of Dr. Juan Vucetich, britannica.com/biography/Juan Vucetich. In-depth article on the Francisca Rojas case, tortome.sciencedirect.com science/article S0411332741.